You're listening to the Business and Life Podcast, where 7 days a week, proven entrepreneurs share their success stories, failures, and give you true value on how you can build a great business and an awesome life. With your host, Mike Olivas.
Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me on, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for being on. So tell our listeners something interesting about yourself and also kind of where you're from right now. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from New York. If separate from my business, you want to know a couple interesting things about me. Is one,
Sure.
I am a volunteer firefighter, so I've been doing that a long time. Something I'm passionate about. And what most people in my business world don't know is that I also appeared on an episode of The Office TV show, and I'm one of the few characters in TV history that actually played himself.
Oh, really? So you played yourself inside the show. What was the character, I guess, or that they portrayed you as, even though it was yourself? Like,
Cool guy Paul from a company called Disaster Kits Limited, and I have a disaster kits company that I started. So they couldn't find an actor to play me, so they asked me if I wanted to play myself.
Oh, very cool. That's awesome. When was that?
Season 4, episode 14. So it's been a while. It kind of happened, and when they cast me to play myself, they were going to change the character name, and I said, no, don't. Let it be Paul Faust. So it's cool guy Paul from Disaster Kits Limited. So that is something unique beyond my sort of business life.
Do you have your own IMBD page now?
I don't. I didn't bother setting it up.
I just threw that out there.
People ask me to, and I'm like,
Yeah.
For me, it was just a life experience, have fun.
Yeah.
I love that stuff. It's what I'm about. Like, I'd love to go on a mission with the Navy SEALs, travel to space. I'm trying to go on a dive with Jacques Cousteau's grandson. I love experiences.
That's awesome. That's what it's about. We're going to talk more about that, about building life, building the life around it and building experiences, not things, kind of thing. So tell us a little bit about, I love that, man. You're going to fit in really well here with our listeners in business and life. So tell us what your company does, the name of it, specifically the website as well, and what it brings to the marketplace.
Awesome. So the company is called bringboost.com. Our specialty, happens to be phone numbers. We help business owners get great phone numbers, whether it be local numbers, toll-free numbers, easy dial numbers, vanity numbers. And while the business is about phone numbers and that's our sort of last 3 feet, ultimately what we're really about is voice connection and harnessing the power of human voice and human connection in this digital age as a medium, which is to us one of the most important. Our vehicle happens to be your phone number. And it was always wild to me that business owners would choose their name, their logo, their tagline, their domain, most likely the paint color in their office, and then they let the phone company hand them 7 random digits. And thought that was crazy. So we provide this through the site ringboost.com or through individual consultation, the ability for a business owner to say, no, I want a number that is easy to remember. I want a number that ties into my brand. I want a number that ties into who I am, and we believe in the power of voice more and more in this digital age. So that's really what we're about. It's about harnessing the power of voice and human connection. Our vehicle is a number that you could drive more calls with.
Awesome. Yeah. No. Why would a business need what makes a great phone number in your opinion? Your professional opinion, of course. Yeah,
in my opinion. And look, the answer is there isn't one right answer. For some people, it's a vanity word, like, if you're a lawyer, 1-800-HURT-NOW. For other people, it's just easy sets of digits. I mean, look, at the end of the day, we are bombarded as consumers with literally thousands of ad messages a day. Across our phones, or computer, radio, TV. So how do I stand out? How do I'm spending that money or time to market. And whether it be TV, radio, billboard, yard signs, maybe I'm just passing out business cards, or maybe it's a simple referral. I want to make the last connection point as easy as possible. So why not, I don't want someone to say to me, hey, Paul, I need a lawyer. And I go, I know a great one. His name's Dave. They go, what's his number? And I go, I don't know. Now they got to go look you up online where they might just run into a competitor. So if I could say his number is 914-222-HURT or 914-222-2222, whatever. So it could be words. It could be easy patterns. It could be a phrase that ties into I have a lawyer, a dear friend of mine who's personal injury, and all of his tagline is "We fight for you, we fight for you, we fight," and his number is 888-WE-FIGHT. So it just sort of ties the whole thing together.
That ties in. Yeah, that makes sense for sure. So is there any correlation, and I'm sure some people think this, and I'm not sure if this is coming from somewhere from my experience, but any correlation on the wording behind the number? Like, do people remember words? Obviously, they're going to more than they are numbers. And then is that going to be hard for them from let's say a phone conversion standpoint, for someone to type in a phone number or type in a word?
Look, it's a great question. I get it all the time.
Yeah.
If you have an easy set of digits, you dial them. Here's my answer to everybody. I have a couple answers to the question. It's not the first time someone's asked me. Number one, what is the goal of the marketing, and what is ultimately most important? The most important thing for me is that they remember you and remember how to connect with you. If it takes them a little bit of work to look down at the phone and match the letter to the digit, I'm okay with that over them not remembering your number. Now, at the end of the day, almost all the cell phones out there now, every landline phone I've ever seen has the alphabet, the alphanumeric keyboard. So if they know your number is, 1-800-HURT-NOW or 1-800-HOME-CARE, they can look and go, there's the H, there's at least they remembered it, as opposed to 7 random digits where they might not know at all. So there were some issues converting it when, in the old BlackBerry days when they had that QWERTY keyboard. But even then there were solutions. But again, if they remember you and they remember your number, they will figure out how to call it. It's not difficult on all the iPhones and Android phone and landlines. So
yeah, they can still dial it. There's still a number on there. There's still the alphabet there. And I think the old Crackberry days, it was like you'd had to hold it down or something, right?
Right. You had to hold it. You could still do it,
right?
But they didn't tell people how to do it.
No, you had to figure that out. You had to figure that out on your own.
We put out some videos for the 6 people that wanted to learn. But it was doable. But again, stay in their mind, be memorable. Everybody knows 1-800-FLOWERS. You might not know the last ad you saw of theirs. You know the number. You probably don't know the number of any other florist. So you know it. You'll figure out how to look down and say, okay, the F is the 3, the L is the 5. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, I think you said something earlier that definitely resonates with what I always like to kind of throw out there, because you have the why behind your business. Although you have a great product, it's a service. It's not something that we're going to talk about the passion of phone numbers, but the reality of it is you broke down believing in the power of voice, and that's huge, right? Like you have a product that works. It's going to, I'm sure, hundreds of thousands of people across. Is it worldwide? Is it just North America wide?
Mostly North America, United States, a little bit of Canada, just because of when I solve the U.S., Canada, maybe I'll think about the rest of the world, but that's an entrepreneur life lesson. Someone just asked me, you don't have to go conquer the world. There's a lot of opportunity for entrepreneurs in their hometown.
Your backyard. That's right.
In my backyard. So once I get this perfect, then and maybe only then will I consider going to other countries. But there's so much opportunity here because most people don't think about it. They'll follow the bouncing ball of technology.
That's right.
And I do it too, because we all have to do it. Look, I do Google, I do SEO, I do pay-per-click, I'm on social media, but it's a constantly moving ball. You need to be a degreed expert to do it, right? You can't just figure it out on your own. And so once I get this all right, we'll think about the rest. But again, what we're really about is, look, I could put up a website tomorrow, and I could use all of the same tools that a big guy does. I could have a gorgeous site. I could have the best chatbot. I could spend the most on pay-per-click, and so kind of technology sort of democratizes everything. But the one thing that you can't get is me. You can't get Paul Faust. Like, I am unique. You are unique. Your listeners are unique. And I want people to hear that. And the only way they do that is with my voice and my passion and knowing who I am. Now, I'm not saying or arguing that every business transaction has to be a voice call. There's a time and a place. I was emailing with Corazon to get set up. There's a time for live chat. There's a time for texting. There's a time for just transaction. But there's also a time and a place for human connection.
Yeah.
People understanding what I'm passionate about. I can listen. I can hear intonation. I can understand real concerns, as opposed to, an electronic communication back and forth that maybe in a few years is my chatbot and your chatbot, two humans never talk. Not a world I want to be in.
Absolutely not. And I don't either. I'm not a fan or advocate at all of the chatbot. One of our marketing advisors recently, for one of my companies, is kind of trying to blow that up, and I just put the X on it. Like, no, maybe the initial response, but there's no automated responses. People know what robots are, especially millennials and Gen Zs out there, and that's what we talk a lot about, how millennials are the biggest demographic of purchasers right now. And if we think about, I want to go back to your belief in the power of voice, because I'm a huge advocate of that, Paul, and I want to just kind of give the pat on the back to you and the company, and realizing the value that a phone number might, how it ties in, how we might be able to track things through Google Analytics, who's calling what. You might have to have several different phone numbers, but you can test those numbers as well. If you go to Ring Boost, create a few, they can test a few. That's great. But when it's all said and done, if you're trying to tell your story via email, business and life people out there, like what are you doing? Like, you're not going to be able, if you have a human factor in your service or product, that's it. If you have any type of human factor in your service or product, and you're trying to get that across with a email or even a text message, like, if you don't personalize this stuff in today's day and age, where just being able to focus on something and getting someone to be present, which generally on a phone call, sometimes still kind of hard. They might be texting on a Bluetooth while they're doing it, but it's a lot better if you're maybe sending a video, could be the other angle. But the reality of it is, being on the phone is what people measure in successful businesses. If you look at big companies, you're looking at CRMs, you're looking at what they're logging phone calls. I'm logging phone calls. I'm finding out what my salesperson's saying, how he's saying it, how the delivery is. So all that comes into the power of voice and how we tell the story of either your product or your service. So I think that we go back down to the power of the voice, much bigger and better than any kind of other platform out there and communication medium. And I agree with you that, Paul, that there is a power of voice. And if you're not measuring that and you're not looking at not just numbers, but I always look at, like, there's all these CRMs to look at. And what I look at as a manager from a company owner standpoint is there a lot of calendar holes in my salespeople's calendars on phone calls to be booked? Now it's even video phone calls, but even just phone calls to be booked. And if there is, that's what I'm measuring, because if there's stories not being told passionately enough, then we're probably not getting our message out there enough.
No, I agree completely. Look, technology is there to be used. I use all of it. It's not there to replace me as a human. And there are transactions where people go to my site, they search on their own, they find a number, and they check out and purchase it. Awesome.
Sure.
For the person who needs that, awesome. And I do it. If I know I need a pair of, the Gary Vaynerchuk K-Swiss shoes, I can go buy them. But I will not buy from a company that I don't think, if I have an issue, a question, there is someone I can speak to. If there's no way to speak to someone, I'm done. I'll find another route. So, it's important. I'm not advocating to business owners, entrepreneurs, that you have to sit by your phone 24/7, talk to every single human being all the time. But you need to be able to use my voice, who I am, as one of my tools, and let my clients know you don't have to go to my FAQs to find out everything. Now, if it's a basic question, we have FAQs. But if you need me, if you need one of my team, you're not understanding something, call us, talk to us. Like, it's why I still go to conferences. I want to fly halfway across the country, stay in a hotel, so I can look you in the eye, shake your hand, and you can really get to know who I am. Even from a simple just data standpoint, how many words can you type a minute, especially as our devices get smaller and smaller? 20, 30? How many can you read? Now, let's take out the fact that there's no intonation whatsoever, so there's a lot of we don't understand what someone really typed. Well, I can talk. Now I'm a New Yorker. I could probably talk at 200 words a minute. I can understand and hear more. So in a voice communication, we can connect better. We can get to the bottom of what you need better. I could probe in conversation. Am I understanding this right? Do I get your concerns? Do I understand? If I did that in a back and forth email or text, that could take God knows how long.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
So there's a time and a place for all of them. And I think I've seen too many business owners, cut all that out in the effort of just using automated everything.
Right. Life Nation, we're all striving towards different goals. Maybe your goal is to finally quit the 8 to 5 grind, quit your job, or take the next step with your existing business. Whatever the goal may be, regardless of your reasons, if you are serious about taking the next step and finally trying to build the life that you deserve, the life that you want to live, take the leap of faith with me. Go to michaelolivas.com and let's discuss your goals and life. It's 100% free. There's no obligation. It's michaelolivas.com. Schedule a quick call. I'd love to help. Yeah, because then you're just focused on copy and call to action when it's easier. Let's say if you are in the sales world, or just giving any kind of product description if you need to do so, or service description, it's so much easier to do that with a little bit of personality and human factor, man. It really is. And people just feel a lot more warm and fuzzy. And if there's anything that we know out there is that purchases are done by emotional reasons. And so, hey, I like that. I like this guy. Paul rocks. He seems like a good guy. I like his product, but more importantly, I like Paul. I'm going to do it. And so those are some kind of just understanding the sound bombs behind this, guys that are listening, is understanding that there's a lot of value into the voice world, and having a legitimate phone number that ties into your brand only is going to help your marketing. And we know marketing is a holistic approach. This is a part of it. If you don't have a part of it, definitely take a look at it. Tell me a little bit what you're excited about right now, Paul, within your industry, within your business.
Well, the stuff I'm excited about is we're continuing to grow. I still think that, most business owners don't know what it is we do, right? And we're getting the message out to more and more. But I want to back up one step.
Yeah.
Marketing correctly, and whether it be digital, online, offline, and even if you choose to use a great number, to drive more calls, that's sort of the getting to go. Just because you have a great number, just because you give people the ability to reach you, you need to make sure that you're doing that right. We're all like sort of the get you to go. You got to make sure that your people know how to answer phone calls, that know how to talk to clients, that they're not making everybody sound like a machine and an order taker. Teach your staff about empathy, about understanding client needs, about, first, even the basics of, if you're going to put a phone number up, don't let it ring 8 times and go to a voicemail or a voice jail system.
Yeah.
If we're going to do these things, just like if you're going to do email or text, you got to reply. Take a moment to, what is our process here? How are we going to answer these calls? Who's answering them? Are they trained a little bit in how to have a nice voice communication? And then critical too is that they capture the information from that call, that they could pass on to the rest of the team, whether it be in your CRM, whether it be in a meeting. The rest of the team only knows what they know. They don't know what they don't know. And you don't know how much information is, falling through, the bottom. Like, let's say I was a roofer and I took a call and trying to set up an appointment, and somebody was angry. They called and I said, okay, and I empathized and I did everything great. And I said, I'm going to have my team there in an hour. I got all the information, and we hung up the call. It's not just good enough that I tell everybody, hey, the appointment's in an hour. I have to tell them, hey, this client was unhappy about something. We missed it up. So you got to capture that data when you're using voice. Don't just have a system to drive more calls. So
okay, that's a really good point. So you're saying, like, obviously, if you're not taking really good notes into your CRM system, if you're just starting out and you're using Google Sheets or something, there needs to be good notes, and of course, like follow-up notes and stuff.
Yeah, pass the information on to the team. The rest of the team only knows what they know.
Right.
They don't know what they don't know. And it might be that I call that client back in a week. You need to make sure you have, what did I talk to them about? So not only capturing the data correctly, sharing it with your team, right? But also train your people a little bit, like how to have a call. You don't want to be, thank you, the order is, thank you, click.
Oh, no robotic, right? Yeah.
I don't know, like say hello, hey, how's your day? Yeah. Little things like that you could, get people through. I have an employee here that first day I hired him, this is going on, I think, almost 10 years. First day he quit because he was so terrible on the phone. He was afraid to talk to people. And I said, you're not quitting. No, I'm going to get you through this. We'll take it slow. You'll listen to some of my calls.
Yeah.
I'll send you to a course. And now he's on the phone all day long.
Yeah.
There's a fear of voice because it's intimate and it's immediate. But when you master it or get comfortable with it, I'll have calls with clients that are 2 minutes of business and 15 minutes of relationship. And that's how you build business.
Yeah.
You know,
I think that I'm picking up what you're putting down here, Paul, and I love it because we're both sales guys, I can tell, and that's great because we're everything guys when it comes to the visionary of a company, but it's understanding what to do with the voice once you have it. And I think, sometimes, like you mentioned, the guy that was going to just bail after the first day, it's listen to me do it, show them how to do it, have a script, but don't be a robot on the script. Have a personality, and I go, if you have one friend out there, and if you don't, then maybe you shouldn't be on the phone. Okay, you got to go out there and become a little more social and understand and start learning how to be more social out there. But if you have one friend, that one friend likes you because of your personality, because of your character. If you're organic and just being yourself on the phone, you're probably going to do well, right? And just talk to them like they're your friend, or they're trying to be your friend, or you're just introducing yourself to somebody. But in reality, use that script as a guidance. Don't be a robot. That's great feedback there, because that's when people either hang up on you. But there's a lot of trends. If you're listening to, I don't care if it's Spotify or you're watching the news, if you look at large companies, think about credit cards like Discover. Think about the Chase.coms of the world and the Chase cards. They're actually promoting, hey, look what we do when you call us. We answer the phone. Like, why do you think that's part of, I'm just wrote down some ideas that you're talking about, but if you think about what others are doing, don't be afraid to look at realizing that success leaves clues, and these big dog companies that are actually putting the power of voice into play is such a big deal because people want to talk to somebody on the phone. And like Paul said, he's not going to buy anybody that's not from someone that won't pick up the phone.
Right. Yeah. I think the big companies recognize their error in making it all automated, and they went back to voice.
Oh, they sure did.
Understand the long-term ROI of connecting with clients, and I want to be able to talk to my banker or talk to my insurance broker. And I think that a lot of them have gone back to, having call centers, to not having these voice jail systems, because they realize that if you look at it on a minute-by-minute basis, the ROI might not be there immediate. But if you look at the long-term value of the customer, the referral, the retention, they realize that they had made a mistake. And they also realize that you need less calls, less interactions to close business using voice than you do in the digital arm. And again, I want to be very clear to everybody listening. I spend a lot of money on Google Ads.
Yeah.
I have a social media platform. We do pay-per-click.
Of course.
I do them all. You have to give business owners and potential customers an option. Some don't want to talk to you. They just want to transact.
Yep.
Maybe they're too busy and they just want to text. That's okay. Just don't leave out, this piece. And then to get back to your question, what am I most excited about?
Yeah.
I'm most excited about living and life and the work-life balance. I think too many entrepreneurs, look, in the beginning, it's the grind. You're trying to build something. But you understand why you're doing it, what you're passionate about, and find the balance. I just got back from Costa Rica, took a bunch of guys that I do business with, and we went down, and people are like, oh, what a great, you're just on vacation. I said, no, I'm not. I'm doing business with guys in a more relaxed environment so I could do things that I enjoy relaxing. I enjoy being that we were able to golf and fish, but we also got to talk shop in an environment where we weren't in suits, we weren't at a conference. There was no, positions and other people that we had to impress. I am most excited. I have a great understanding of my relationship with time and how it's fleeting, and I can't get it back. And I balance those things together. It makes me a better business owner. It makes me a better husband, a better boss. You have to find the break. If you're just grinding, 47 hours a day, which entrepreneurs figure out how to do it 47 hours a day.
Yep.
You burn out. And you need to find that balance in your life. Now, it takes maturity sometimes and little level of success to go, wait a minute.
Yeah.
I'm not effective right now because I'm working my butt off for what? to get things that I enjoy. But if I'm never doing those things, what am I doing here? So I have found the balance.
People forget that. You're right. It's all grind, and not living. I think you definitely got to remember to do that, business and life, nation, because we always say it in the world of business and life wins. It has to. If not, then what are you doing? What are you living? You're not living a business. You're living a life, right?
Right.
So
I have gotten and made as many contacts and sales and relationships, going to my Krav Maga class, traveling, leaving the conference that I was at and just walking in the city, having conversations with people at a restaurant. Like, you don't know who you're going to meet. So just because you're enjoying life a bit doesn't mean that, well, I'm ignoring my business. I'm enjoying some time myself. I'm doing things that I'm passionate about, but I engage them. I've done business with people I've sat next to on the airplane, because it doesn't matter who they are. It's also who they know. All of a sudden I'm sitting next to someone who's, a surgeon. Okay. But his best friend runs a podcast. His best friend runs an ad agency and says, oh my God, this is the coolest thing ever. Let me connect you, Paul. So find the balance. You'll find that if you're just head down and grind and business, you're not going to be happy. You're not going to be as focused. And all those things you're working for can't all be for later. Look, there might not be a later.
That's right.
I'm at the age now where, people have gotten sick. I've had friends, have heart attacks. I've been a firefighter a while. I know the guys who were going to grind on Wall Street, retire early, and then go enjoy their lives. Well, maybe they didn't make it, because of a 9/11 or some. But find the balance, and I think that you will find your business grows more, and you are ultimately happier. Your staff is happy, your team's everything, your family life's better. Find the balance, and people are afraid they're missing something. You're not.
Right.
You're not missing something. You might be gaining something.
Yeah, time's going to pass anyways. You might as well grind and create something out of it. Don't forget to find that balance, and I absolutely agree with it, Paul. Out of all your successes and failures out there, what's the one piece of parting advice that you give out to the business and life listeners today?
I would say, don't listen to the naysayers. There's going to be, and I'm not saying don't take advice from people that you respect, but if you're passionate about your business and what you're doing, right? You've done the research and you believe in what you're doing, then go for it. And how many people have told me over the past 15 years that nobody makes phone calls? The phone's going away. Okay, I don't think so. I'm passionate. So, don't worry about them. You don't need to impress them. Don't, like, as Gary Vaynerchuk always says on his podcast, like, I don't care what Johnny Pants 82 says. Like, I believe in what I'm doing. I listen to critics and I listen to advisors, but I'm passionate. I'm doing my thing. If you don't like it, okay.
Yeah.
There's always someone. Sometimes they're naysayers because they're jealous. Sometimes they're naysayers because they're afraid to take the journey you're on. So I would say, if you're passionate, stay in the game, continue learning, and drown out the noise of the people who want to find every reason why you won't be successful.
I love that.
Maybe use that as a little bit of fire.
Yeah.
To be successful.
Oh yeah, prove them wrong. Look at the naysayers and just go the other way. Focus on what you got going and believe in what you have happening right now for you, business and life peeps out there listening, and keep grinding. I really appreciate your time here, Paul, and I appreciate all the knowledge. Tell people where they can find you before we go.
They can obviously, if they want to search, they can find us on ringboost.com. They can connect with me on social media. They can call me, 914-200-0013. 13 is my lucky number, so that's why I picked it. Paul at ringboost.com. Email me, call me, find us on social media. I'm here to answer your questions. I have a team here. I'm here to help. You can reach out to me if you have no interest in getting a number. If you have your own number, you just want to connect, see how we can help each other. Like, love it. The more people in my world that are good people like us that listen to, and I'm sure the audience of this show, business and life, that's our people. So
that's it. That's right.
Please reach out to me. Love to help you in any way I can with your businesses, and we will find synergies in business and life.
Awesome. Thanks so much. I appreciate your time, Paul.
Thank you.
All right.
Speak soon.
Life Nation, you got to remember that in order for things to change, you must change. And in order for things to get better, you must get better. You just got better by hanging out with me, Michael Libas, and the Business and Life Nation. So come back tomorrow because I'm here dropping sound bombs 7 days a week, baby. If you'd like to subscribe, please do so you can take action and execute. See you tomorrow.